This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Sayings of Confucius, from the Harvard Classics, 1909 to 1914, edited by Charles W. Eliot. Book 3. 1. Of the Chi having 8 rows of dancers in his hall, Confucius said, "If this is to be born, what is not to be born?" 2. At the end of the worship, the 3 clans made use of the Jung hymn. The master said, "The dukes and princes assist, solemn is the Son of Heaven. What sense has this in the hall of the 3 clans?" 3. The master said, "A man without love, what is courtesy to him? A man without love, what is music to him?" 4. Lin Fang asked, "What is the life of ceremony?" The master said, "A great question. At high tides, waste is worse than thrift. At burials, grief outweighs nicety." 5. The master said, "The wild tribes have kings, whilst the realm of Xia is without." 6. The Chi worshipped on Mount Tai. The master said to Rang Yu, "Canst thou not stop this?" He answered, "I cannot." "Alas," said the master, "dost thou set Mount Tai below Lin Fang?" 7. The master said, "A gentleman has no rivalries, except perhaps in archery, and then, as bowing he joins the winners, or steps down to see the loser drink, throughout the struggle he is still the gentleman." 8. Tzu Hsia asked, "What is the meaning of 'Her cunning smiles, her dimples light, her lovely eyes so clear and bright, the ground not yet with colours dight'?" The master said, "Colouring follows groundwork." "Then does courtesy follow after?" said Tzu Hsia. "Shang," said the master, "thou hast hit my meaning. Now I can talk of poetry to thee." 9. The master said, "I can speak of the manners of Xia, but for Chi witnesses fail. I can speak of the manners of Yin, but for Sung witnesses fail. This is due to their dearth of books and great men. Were there enough of these, they would witness for me." 10. The master said, "After the drink offering at the great sacrifice, I have no wish to see more." 11. One asked about the words of the great sacrifice. 12. The master said, "I do not understand them. Could one understand them, he would overlook the world as I this," and he pointed to his palm. 13. Worship as though those ye worship stood before you. Worship the spirits as though they stood before you. The master said, "If I take no part in the sacrifice, it is none to me." 14. Wang Sun Jia said, "What is the meaning of 'It is better to court the kitchen god than the god of the home'?" "Not at all," said the master. "A sin against heaven is past praying for." 15. The Master said, 2 lines of kings have passed beneath the ken of Zhou. How rich in art is Zhou! It is Zhou I follow. 16. On entering the great temple, the Master asked how each thing was done. One said, "Who says that the man of Zhou's son has a knowledge of ceremony? On entering the great temple, he asked how each thing is done." On hearing this, the Master said, "Such is the ceremony." 17. The Master said, "To pierce through the target does not score in archery, because men differ in strength. This was the old rule." 18. Zigong wished to do away with the sheep offering at the new moon. The Master said, "Thou lovest the sheep, Zi. I love the right." 19. The Master said, "Treat the king with all courtesy." Men call it fawning. 20. Duke Ding asked how a king should behave to his ministers, how ministers should serve their king. Confucius answered, "A king should behave with courtesy to his ministers. Ministers should serve their king faithfully." 21. The Master said, "The poem The Osprey is glad, but not wanton. It is sad, but not morbid." 22. Duke Ai asked Tsai Wo about the shrines of the garden spirits. Tsai Wo answered, "The Xia emperors grew firs round them. The men of Yin grew cypress. The men of Zhou grew chestnut," meaning, "Jest not over holy matters." On hearing this, the Master said, "I do not speak of what is ended, chide what is settled, or find fault with what is past." 23. The Master said, "How shallow was Guanzhong?" "But," said one, "was not Guanzhong thrifty?" "Guan owned Sangui, and in his household none doubled offices," said the Master. "Was that thrift?" "At least Guanzhong was versed in courtesy." The Master said, "Kings screen their gates with trees. Guan too had trees to screen his gate. When 2 kings make merry together, they have a stand for the turned down cups. Guan had a turned down cup stand too. If Guan was versed in courtesy, who is not versed in courtesy?" 24. The Master said to the chief musician of Lu, "How to play music may be known. At first each part in unison, then a swell of harmony, each part distinct, rolling on to the finish." 25. The warden of Yi asked to see Confucius, saying, "No gentleman has ever come here whom I have failed to see." The followers presented him. On leaving, he said, "My lads, why lament your fall? The world has long been astray. Heaven will make of the Master a warning bell." 26. The Master said, "All beautiful and noble is the music of Shao. The music of Wu is as beautiful, but less noble." 27. The Master said, "Rank without bounty, ritual without reverence, mourning without grief, why should I cast them a glance?" End of Book 3.